All right, how is everyone doing today? Let me introduce myself. My name is Rob. I am over 40 years old and I have decided to become an indie game developer. That's right. For the past few months, I've had just this itch to jump in, but trying to learn C# has always scared me. Unity, just such a big game engine. I've dabbled with it in the past, but could never get a grasp until finally I stumbled across GDevelop. And it's the perfect engine if you want to jump into indie game dev and don't know how to code, just got to know and understand the logic behind coding. So I decided to take the plunge and have been working on my own game for roughly 6 weeks now. And I want to show you the progress of where I'm at. So right now I just have one level made for a couple scenes, but once a main menu scene, once a game over scene, and then you have like the first actual level of the game. And I'll tell you, there was a lot of struggling, roadblocks, just areas that stumped me for days. How do I do dual controls, gamepad and mouse and keyboard? How do I have these mechanics work when the game is paused and also unpaused? It's learning on the fly as I go. Discord definitely came in handy when it came to troubleshooting, and the game hasn't always looked like this. You'll see very soon what I'm talking about. So from the very start of this, since I didn't really know anything about GDevelop, I didn't want to invest too much time on drawing artwork. I just wanted to prototype things out and actually learn the engine. So I just used a pre-made asset pack that had to do with space and space shooters. I've seen it, float around on a lot of different, small indie game dev projects. And I'm glad I did, because just the learning curve of trying to understand the logic behind the event sheet and how GDevelop works for no-code programming is a little tough at first just to wrap your head around. But once you understand the logic, everything starts falling into place. And as you can see from the very start, just trying to get a simple laser to fire out from the front of my ship was a little difficult. But finally, once I got that working, it was on to the next problem, and that was just getting the exhaust of the ship to just be created and stick to the back of the ship as I move. But it took me days just to figure that out as well. So after a couple of weeks now, I'm definitely starting to see progress. I'm definitely getting more comfortable with the GDevelop engine. So I wanted to start expanding on my existing code as it was. So I started to add meteors. And as you can see, people rightfully so call them chocolate chip cookie meteors, because that's what they kind of look like. And I worked on an ammo bar for the player, slight customizations to it, and then worked on the AI for the meteors as far as rotation, spawn rate. That was definitely not easy. So after finally getting the meteors to fly in the way I wanted, at the rate and speed that I liked and was comfortable with, I wanted to add a little bit of juice to the scene. So I added a scene timer, like a mission clock that goes up every second. I improved the ammo bar slightly, and I added some cool particle effects and juice to the meteor destruction loop. So at this point now, I'm about 3 or 4 weeks into the project, and I feel like the asset pack I'm using has run its course, and I really want to start making my own artwork for it. So that's what I did. I made a custom player ship, made just a single meteor, added some better UI text to the screen, added a custom background layout, and things just started moving from there. I added a few more meteors, added a health bar, and things started to definitely look like they were gelling together really well. So at this point in the development, I wanted to have some of my UI that's on screen actually match my artwork. So I redid the ammo bar. I added these cool ammo cells and health cells that automatically spawn randomly within the scene. that the player can fly into, and now he has a way to replenish his health and his ammo based on the cells that he collects. So I thought it was a pretty cool mechanic of the game. I also added a actual health system and XP to the game, and now the player can gain and acquire XP, which I thought is pretty cool. And after all this is when I finally start working on some enemy AI, which was one of the most challenging things I've had to do up until this point. So as you can see in this clip, since I haven't drawn the actual enemy ships yet, I'm just using one of the free asset pack ships just to represent the enemy. But this was very challenging, just trying to get the ship to move into sea the way I wanted to, with custom firing patterns and movement patterns, as well as trying to keep the actual enemy health bar above it while it moved, and to keep it dynamic as well, so when there is more than one enemy in the scene, that each health bar goes with each enemy individually, which is not easy to do. I can't have it to where I shoot one enemy and the other enemy's health bar goes down in health. So it took me a few days to sort all that out. So to jump ahead a little bit, because I know this video is getting long, I decided to make an actual main menu for the game, so you don't just jump right into gameplay. When you open the game up, I added splash screens to the ammo and health cell when you collect them, just explaining to the player what they actually are. I revamped the whole enemy system, changed the color, changed the movement patterns, created an enemy wave system, so after the enemies that are on screen are destroyed, after a certain wave number, they increase in quantity. And I then added a dialogue box to explain what your goal of the level actually is. I added a pause menu, I added mobile controls, and I also added a game over independent scene that you jump to after you've been killed. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. As everyone says, please like and subscribe. I really want to try to grow this channel. I'm going to try to do at least one of these a month as I get more content in the game, obviously. So just subscribe and look out for future uploads. Thanks again, everyone, and I will see you next time.